Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much, as always, for your tweets. We've got Shaka Hislop here in the studio today. How's that shirt fitting, Shaka, right?
Very nicely.
Yeah, very nicely, yeah. Stevie, Nicol with us as well, as is Frank Leboeuf. Frank just come from a round of golf. Stevie, were you thrilled with that 0-0? I mean, you wanted to watch that instead of a 9-9.
Well, unfortunately, this particular 0-0 left me with some egg on my face, shall we say. Yeah. It was rotten.
Stevie, what about the people that are tweeting and saying it was a tactical masterclass, it was a fascinating encounter between two tactical sides?
A tactical masterclass. We called the way this game would go 3 days before the game kicked off. So, I don't know about a tactical masterclass.
Oh, dear.
Because both sides, when it mattered, couldn't pick a pass or keep the ball properly. Much as anything
Tactical
else.
masterclass, Shaq?
No. Yeah, well, listen, you can have a tactical masterclass in a 0-0, no question.
How about a great defensive display by Manchester United's backline?
Really? I thought it was more Liverpool being a bit rubbish in front of goal.
Well, it's a combination, isn't it? Listen, if your back line doesn't allow the opposition to get a shot at your goalkeeper,
yeah, but they did,
anywhere inside
but
the
they did
penalty
have
box,
shots.
You've done a good job.
They did have shots. Firmino had shots. Firmino had an off day, so you can't say it's a defensive masterclass from Manchester United.
Yes, you're picking. You're trying to be. Hold on a second. How many clear chances did Liverpool have in the game?
You had Firmino's chance was really clear cut, wasn't it? You would say the one
right,
where
what?
Yeah.
Salah as well.
Salah as well.
Salah
and by the way, the only reason that they actually had the chance was nothing to do with lovely silky passing and movement.
Right.
It was Salah getting 16 ricochets off defenders who had no control of the ball, and it ends up at the feet of Firmino. So, you got to give Man United credit for defense.
Frank, what do you think? Stevie says this was a defensive masterclass from Manchester United.
Well, they did well, but mostly because Liverpool was very bad. I mean, they had 7 shots in the first half. They have 7 shots, but all of them not on target. And I didn't recognize. You know what? I didn't recognize Liverpool in the first minute. Robertson has the ball on the left side, and he tries a cross and put the ball behind the net. And I say, whoa, it starts very badly for Liverpool. And you have another chances where Firmino sees Robertson or doesn't see him, but doesn't give him the ball. I say, what's wrong with Liverpool? That's not Liverpool. That's not what I normally see. So Manchester United did well because they kept the clean sheet, but it's mostly because Liverpool didn't do the job.
How long will the ESPN panel wait for Liverpool to get back to their best before admitting they are just not the same team anymore, Shaka?
From the time Van Dijk went down, you knew Liverpool wasn't going to be the same team that they were last season. But
defensively we knew, but then attack-wise they've been poor as well.
That wasn't the question.
I think it is.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So how long are we going to wait before saying they're not the same team that they were? We've been saying that for weeks.
But they're really not the same team.
They're a lot worse than we thought they'd be. Admittedly.
Go on, Frank.
December 19, this match.
Crystal
Palace 7-0?
Yes.
Yeah, 7-0. And since then, and Boxing Day, they dropped dramatically. So I think it's physically that they're not very, very well. But you have to take in consideration the fact that they have so many players between injuries and COVID who are not in a good shape. That's the thing. So Liverpool is not in a good shape.
Oh, I don't know. That's just an excuse, isn't it, Frank?
Well, but that's an excuse that you have to take seriously.
You had your top front three out today. They're not injured. They're fully fit, and they just weren't good enough.
No, of course they weren't good enough, and I never say that they were good, and I don't try to find any excuses. I try to judge what I see, and what I see is not the team that I used to see.
No.
And I think the question is when we're going to see them coming back to their best. But before going back to their best, they have to get the players back, and they have to get their fitness back to be as good and maybe to be judged.
Stevie, was your team ever on a goal drought similar to Liverpool's current one? If so, how long did it last, and how were you able to start hitting the back of the net again?
I'll be honest, I don't ever remember a goal drought. You know, we certainly went
Stop itching.
some stretches not winning. I'm moving this out the road. we certainly went some games without winning. But I don't remember a goal drought.
Shaka,
Individuals would have goal droughts.
Portsmouth,
not a team.
Reading, there must have been some goal droughts there.
I've never had a goal drought like that myself.
No, you've thrown them in for fun.
Listen, but to be fair, you don't expect all three to be having as bad a time as they do. You could cope with one or two.
It must be miserable in training, though, isn't
Absolutely,
it? When no one's
must
scoring and it's just...
Absolutely, it must be. But to Klopp's credit, the one thing he's done in terms of handling players who I don't think have performed well at times is he's just kind of stuck with them, and he's never tried to throw anybody under the bus. And I think that's what he'll do now.
What's Stevie like?
I don't know. He's probably itching. Itching again.
I just remembered something. Paul Walsh, when he was at Liverpool, he went about 12 to 14 games without a goal.
Wow.
And we were still winning. But by about the 10th or 11th game in training, we kind of all took turns every day going up and saying, "Hey, Walshy, what is it you do to celebrate a goal again?" And his face.
Oh my God.
He just, and Walshy, by the way, always had an answer for everything. But on this, he just would do that.
Shaka, did any of you ever have a team other than your local rivals that you simply despised during your playing days? Whether this be because of their arrogance, dirty play, etc. Just someone you always played with more fire against? Internationally, did you have more fire against the Americans because of their arrogance?
In all honesty, you kind of... Playing in CONCACAF, you know that the US and Mexico are going to run away with it, and then it's everything else that counts. And that's kind of the mindset. Anything you get out of those two is icing on the cake. So I don't think you're that upset with anybody else. In terms of club, probably the best I could... of course, there was the Newcastle Sunderland derbies that I played a couple in. For West Ham. West Ham hate Chelsea.
Yes.
Chelsea couldn't care less about West Ham.
Right, one of those.
Yeah. They barely knew who we were. But that was the game that meant the most to the fans, and you knew it as a player. So probably Chelsea, as I say, but, you know.
Did you ever play Millwall? West Ham Millwall was a big one.
I never played West Ham Millwall. I played at Millwall for both Reading and Portsmouth.
How was that?
You know, well, for Reading was easy enough. That was the old den.
Right.
I just started English football, so no issue. I went back with Portsmouth, obviously as an ex-West Ham player, but we smashed them. We won 5-0 at the new den, and we actually got a standing ovation leaving the field. And
from Millwall fans?
From Millwall fans.
No, that's a made-up story.
I'm telling you. And I wasn't expecting it.
No?
I really wasn't.
Well, that's because it's made up. Shaka, after Besiktas' huge win over Galatasaray today, will that get them back into your top 10 power rankings?
Well,
went top of the Turkish league, didn't they, with that win?
You just have to wait and see now. Wait and see.
Oh, by the way, Shaka.
Yeah.
I have a question about Galatasaray. Muslera got injured very dramatically in June. He's never going to come back because the goalkeeper for Galatasaray doesn't seem to be at the top, comparing to Muslera. Do you know if Muslera is still
Shaka,
the goalkeeper of Galatasaray now? Yeah, you are the goalkeeper. Come on, the sparks is coming to you.
Frank's got his fireworks out.
Do the sparks for you.
Shaka?
Yeah.
Muslera, what's his time frame on coming back?
Oh, come on.
I think
I thought there was
6
something special.
6 to 8 weeks.
It's almost as if you just
there was something special between goalkeepers, you know. You don't care. You don't care about the goalkeepers getting injured.
6 to 8 weeks, Frank.
I'm going.
Stevie, when it rains or snows, do players change their kits at half time? I imagine they do now, but back in your day, I can't imagine you did.
No, you just sat there. Freezing. Try to get a cup of tea to get you warmed up. Oh, it was awful. Well, Ned, We only
No.
had 4 sets of strips for the whole season.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was it?
That was it.
Who was it that you said that they gave away their strip on their first day at Liverpool? And Ronnie Moran shouted at them.
It was Glenn who said we played Fiorentina in a testimonial pre-season, and after the game, Glenn ran over to the Fiorentina fans because Liverpool bought him from Fiorentina, so part of the deal was we played them. So he ran over to the Fiorentina fans, took his strip off and threw it in. So he's run off the field, got back in the dressing room, and Ronnie Moran went, "Who do you think you are?" And Glenn's like, what? He went, we've only got 4 strips to do as the season, and you've only got 3 left. Glenn's like, what?
Oh my God.
Frank, did you
Honestly.
just have to wear the same strip, sleep in the same strip?
No, we had the possibility to change halftime, you know, the shirt, and we had like, I don't know, 10 shirts per year, you know.
Right.
So we wanted to swap at the end of the game. It was possible. Yeah.
What about you, Shaq?
We had a few, but go to the World Cup, right? We get sponsored by Adidas
Right.
to play the World Cup.
Yep.
We get there, they tell us you have 3 strips. That's all. Of course, in the group stage, you're playing 3 games.
Yes.
So the players are like, hold on, I want to swap shirts with, you know, an opponent, you know,
Yep.
for the game, and then I won't have any shirts. And it got into this big heated debate in the team hotel and around, you know, so we are arguing with administrators about, and they're like, well, that's all Adidas gave us. They only gave us 3 strips. So we're like, so what if we get through to the next round?
Yeah.
Well, then they would have given us more. Honestly, and it got really, it was really heated. In the end, we couldn't get any more. It worked out for me because I only played the first 2 games, of course. So I kept my shirt from the 3rd. Only for the start of the next domestic season in Trinidad and Tobago, Jack Warner sponsored a team called Joe Public.
Right.
Joe Public played in Trinidad and Tobago national team shirts. In the league campaign.
He took all the shirts.
He took all the shirts.
Wow. For his own team.
Players couldn't get the players in the World Cup couldn't get a spray. If you played 3 games, you had to make a choice as to whether you keep a Trinidad and Tobago shirt or you swap it with all 3 opponents. And then only to find out that all the extra shirts were commandeered and used as a club shirt in Trinidad.
What about gloves at half-time if it's wet? Do you change your gloves?
Not really.
No?
No, the gloves, even back, I think they're better now, but even back then, they cope. You have
Only-
weather gloves.
Hey. Only if you'd let half a dozen in the first half, he'd change them.
Would you ever do that? That's a good point. If you had a rubbish
Yeah.
first half, would you burn your gloves at half-time?
Yeah, I would.
New ones. For the defenders, Stevie, Frank, is it harder to defend a right-footed left winger or a left-footed left winger and vice versa on the other side? Good question, Stevie.
Well, it makes no difference.
No. No, me, I like it. I like with the... Yeah, go on, Stevie, go on.
No, it makes no difference because if you don't close them down properly, regardless, they're going to do you. Because if you don't close them down and he can whip it in one way, if you don't close them down properly, he can whip it in the other way as well. So you're not actually going to affect it, whether it's a left footer or a right footer.
Frank?
For me, it doesn't change, you know, my mind about a left-footed or right-footed. It depends if a left-footed plays on the right side, you know, or a right-footed plays on the left side. I will push him to go on the side, you know, of his wrong foot to make sure that he is only going to cross the ball and not have an opportunity to shoot. Which, like Robben, for example, you know, if you take Robben, who played for Bayern Munich and the Netherlands, if you open the door for him to shoot, he will kill you. So you have to close the door. You have to force him to go on the right side for him to use, in order for him to use his right foot to cross and maybe miss the cross because he's left-footed.
There's a lot of left and rights in all of that. Final question, Stevie. A lot of people notice this, Stevie, and they're concerned. They want you to put some batteries in the carriage clock behind you because it's been at the same time for months.
Months? It's been like that for about a decade.
Why don't you wind it up? Put some batteries in it.
Why?
Well, because you want to clock the tell. Why? Damn it! Do I want to clock the tells the time? Stevie, there's a new photo. That one's theirs new. We haven't talked about this one right over your right shoulder. Is that you and Eleanor?
Which one? That one?
Yes.
Yeah, that is actually at the dinner after the Champions League final against Rome.
Well, show it to us so we can see.
1984.
Bring it closer to the camera.
We don't see it. It's,
I can't believe you had colour
shiny.
photos back in that day. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was
look at that. Oh, it's beautiful.
Look at a young Stephen Nicol.
Look at that.
You look like Paul McCartney. You look like Paul McCartney.
I wish I had his bank balance.
Are you laughing at missing the penalty?
Yeah.
That's it.
Nothing. Hey, by the way. What does Jurgen Klinsmann know about scoring goals?
I know.
Kane and Dombele
Oh, well done. That's it there. Good end. Goodbye.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.